I know one day I went, oh my God, it's 4:30 and I think it's still light. It's great.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. It gets us over that hump. Yeah.
Good morning.
Morning. Morning.
Good
Morning. We have everyone here. I think we're waiting for Laura. Oh, hang on. Here she's calling. Hello.
I never have Zoom links in my calendar anymore.
Oh, heaven's sakes. Councillor Galanders is just logging on. She should be with us momentarily.
Sounds good.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Here, where am I? Here. Oh, here we are. Okay, well, I'll call us to order while we're waiting because I believe we're running the meetings this go round. So good morning, everyone. Welcome. Calling to order the Council School Board Liaison Committee meeting of Wednesday, January 28th. It's 9:30 a.m. Do we have any additions or deletions to the agenda? I would like to add one more thing to the agenda. So under 5.1, I will add International Holocaust Remembrance Day. Okay. So, got a motion on the agenda. All in favor? Okay.
Sorry, I was moving the agenda.
Okay. So, moved by Trustee Sargent, seconded by. I'll second it, and
I seconded it. Sorry.
Okay, there we go. Councillor Galander seconding. All in favor? So just to be clear, who's the voting members from the trustees? I feel like we just appointed Rod Beleza, so I'm maybe I've got the wrong committee in my mind with Rod. So
Cindy, I believe it's Trustee Larson and myself.
Yes.
Okay.
Trustee Sargent.
okay, and Trustee Wong is here to observe. Okay, thank you. Just to be clear on who's running this.
Sorry, so who was that again? Sergeant and
And Larson.
Larson. Okay.
Thank you. Okay, do you want to take over, Laura?
Can you just or
I can just carry on for a minute.
I'm just trying to pull up the agenda on my other screen so that I can be effective.
Yeah, fair enough.
Sorry.
Okay, so if we get a motion to adopt the minutes of the meeting of November
So
5th.
moved.
Okay, Trustee Sargent, second. Councillor Glanders, you seconding that?
Yeah.
Thank you. All in favor? Okay. And we'll move to the standing items, Traffic Safety Advisory Committee.
Good morning, Sonali here. Hope everyone can see me. I'm sorry, I had to switch off my camera because I kept getting notification that there was a poor network connection. So hopefully by not having the camera on, that will help. We'll see how it goes. Yes, so thank you, Madam Chair. As noted in the agenda for today's meeting, you'll find the minutes from the last Traffic Safety Advisory Committee meeting. There was just one meeting of the committee since we last met, and the main agenda item was a presentation by TransLink that I will briefly recap. The presentation that TransLink made was on their available resources and initiatives related to children's transportation, which is ultimately to encourage children 12 years and younger to use sustainable travel modes to get to school. They described a new initiative that they're working on, which is called the School Neighborhood Activation Playbook, or SNAP for short, and they'll be launching that early this year. What this is a provincial reference of practical tools for infrastructure, programs, and partnerships that help to activate safe and healthy school neighborhoods. They also provided information that they have all of this on their website, but one of the things they touched upon was the walking school bus initiative. And a walking school bus is where a group of students travel to and from school each day along a designated route, stopping along the way to pick up more students. And it's basically an operation with the help and support of volunteers that are trained supervisors to walk with the group on a daily basis. And they have more information and can be contacted on their website regarding that initiative. And they also provide a suite of additional educational information and materials, including activities that have colorful comic book style transit tip sheets, transit bingo, and a Mad Libs for buses that can be found in their library, and all, again, to support children's transportation. Their website, it's in the minutes, but I'll just provide it again, is translink.ca/kids programs, all one word. And the committee also discussed the ongoing enforcement efforts around school zones that the RCMP undertakes, and our continued collaboration regarding school zone safety initiatives to enhance safety in Richmond throughout the upcoming year. So that concludes my brief update, and happy to answer any questions.
Well, thank you. That kind of ties in nicely to something that came up at Public Works and Transportation about the traffic situation at McMath, especially with Fenton Place going to be redeveloped. Was this program targeted at elementary school students or high school students?
Through the chair, the work that TransLink offers is targeted towards younger children and providing resources related to encouraging transit trips. With respect to McMath and Fentiman and Gary Street that staff are currently undertaking a traffic study and will be reaching out with consultation in the community, including the school, regarding traffic operations along that roadway.
Okay, so we don't need to discuss that item under this today. That's because you're already working on it.
You're working
because
on
we
it.
talked about it. Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
Does anyone else have any questions?
I do, Trustee Sargent.
Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. And it sounds very good and it sounds very proactive. I'm just wondering, how would TransLink be in touch with the ground? So how would they get the information from school districts, what's needed, and from students? So I'm just wondering, what's the process for TransLink as far as before they start an initiative gathering feedback from the ground? Thanks.
Yeah, through the chair, what they described, and they can offer more details, is they establish working groups and reach out to different members in the community and stakeholders. They did provide their contact information so that Richmond District can reach out and contact should additional information and questions be had. And they're happy to discuss further as well regarding their programs and offerings to schools.
Yeah, I think it would be really important if we can just establish some sort of process to go along with the city. I'm assuming that you're part of the group or the working group, and just making sure that the ground, our level, is really sharing what would be effective. I know we have recently written a letter to you, and I think it's really important that we're part of any kind of feedback and making sure the strategies are effective with the ground. So if you could pass that along, I think that'd be really helpful. Thank you.
I'll be happy to do that, and we will certainly carry on with our agenda items and the representatives that the school district has on our Traffic Safety Advisory Committee and the issues that they bring forward on the school district's behalf, and work with them to address school zone safety as we currently do, and expand on that going forward.
Okay, anybody else? Do we take Council Lou, do we take a motion to accept the item?
I think Trustee Wong has her hand
great.
up.
Okay.
Trustee Wong, you gotta speak up.
Yeah, my gallery view isn't working, so I don't see hands. Oh, there we go. You're still muted, Trustee Wong.
It looks like she might be having trouble muting. Yeah.
We can't hear you. I wonder if I can make her
Can you type it in the chat, Trustee Wong?
Trustee Wong, we don't hear you. Can you give a wave if you're going to try to type something in the chat?
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Now it's can. Now it's okay.
We got you.
Especially, I just really get the Learn to Ride program. This program is for the grade 4 and grade 5 students. So I would like that if the school is interested for this program, do you such like any communicate with the student, with the school principal, get them know more about this program they are interested for apply?
Through the chair, the cycling program is that?
Yeah. The hub cycling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thanks for the question. Certainly, that's something that the city does on an annual basis. Over a 2-year period, every elementary school student will receive cycling education and training through our partnership with Hub Cycling. And we do have staff that go out and supplement hub cycling as well to ensure that the program's being delivered in an effective manner. And we work with school principals. We've talked to all 38 elementary school principals and 10 public high school principals regarding their specific road safety and traffic safety issues and operations around their schools to address their issues directly. And we continue to offer that program. It occurs twice a year, typically in the spring and then again in the fall in a few different batches. And we do half the schools 1 year and then half the schools the other year.
My question is that that information go to all the public school?
Yes, it does.
Elementary? Okay. Thank you.
All public schools in Richmond.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Elementary schools, I should say. The 38 elementary schools receive that program.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Excuse me, I have a quick question, if I may.
Please, Heather, go ahead.
Thank you. I was looking about and reading a bit about the school safety zone postcard that's coming. Is that okay to just ask a question about that? Because I know it's not on this particular agenda. Is that, do you mind?
Not at all.
It's okay, good, thank you. So I was just I understand, I think it's great that this is coming together. It's really needed. And particularly around sort of city center where there's more commercial or different things. Will they include safety in parking lots for kids walking and back and forth to school or on scooters or on bikes? Would that be part of it?
Through the chair, generally the tips that are universal, they would apply
Okay.
to be aware, regardless of if you're on the roadway or in a parking lot or
Okay.
Anywhere for that matter, just safety tips in that regard. And then the focus is where that interaction between students and cars occurs. And so there is a focus. The focus of the safety tips in that postcard was on the roads fronting schools.
Right.
But a lot of that information can be applied in everyday life in other locations as well.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. Because
Yeah,
I think we forget about that piece. Sometimes we just focus on the roads.
Yeah. The focus of the postcard is on the roads, so in front of school zones. But good habits can be applied everywhere on the trip that a student takes.
Okay. Thank you. There we go.
Anybody else want to jump in?
I'll move receipt.
I'll second. All those in favor? Thank you. Item 2, Joint City and District Program Committee staff Keith Miller is going to speak to this.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair, and good morning, everyone. As included in the agenda package are the October 15 meeting minutes. There were several updates and discussions on various programs and initiatives that the city and school district are working on together. A few of the highlights that I will note from that meeting included school opportunities, school program opportunities at the Richmond Nature Park, featuring the Marvelous Mushroom exhibit. The rollout of this year's Grade 5 Active Pass program to schools and Grade 5 students. And this pass provides Grade 5 students with free access to public swimming, public skating, pitch and putt, and various drop-in programs at Richmond community centers all throughout the school year. As well, there were discussions about the Kaiwo Maru and Richmond Celebrate Soccer events and opportunities for Richmond students to participate. And an update was also given on the community schools program and efforts to expand that program to new schools through collaborations between the city and the school district, involving our community center associations and new programs and opportunities there. So now the program is working collaboratively with the Cambie Community Center, the City Center Community Center, Steveston Community Center, and the South Arm Community Center to expand the community schools program. The program committee has also since met a couple weeks ago on January 14th. There were lots of good discussions about upcoming events, programs, and initiatives again, and ways in which we can continue to collaborate and support Richmond's children and youth. The minutes from that meeting are forthcoming. They'll be included in our next agenda package. Our next meeting scheduled for April 8th. And I'm happy to answer any questions, unless Rav, you have anything further you'd like to add about those meetings.
No, that's great, Keith. Nothing further to add from me.
Any comments or questions on that? Okay, thank you, Keith. Yeah, Alexa, move receipt. I'll second. All in favor? Thanks.
Thank you.
Great. Okay, moving on to item 3, further opportunities to recognize Tomokichi Homa at Homa Elementary School. Rebecca, do you want to jump in and introduce it, or do you want me to?
I can give some background. I believe this was brought up at a previous meeting, so hopefully folks have some familiarity with this topic. There have been further discussions and work that have taken place with community. In December, council approved a design for the installation of the plaque, as well as some other changes to the front of the what we were calling the Japanese Fishermen Benevolent Society building, which is at the back of the Steveston Museum off First Avenue. The name is now the Steveston Japanese Canadian Museum, so we'll be rolling out that name as part of this work as well. So we are now actively working on getting the plaque installed. We are in communication with Parks Canada and the descendants of Tomokichi Homa to arrange for a plaque unveiling event, which is tentatively planned for May. The event will be sort of a combination of a private event, so invitation only of the plaque unveiling, and then also a public book launch of Jeff Chiba's new graphic novel about Tomokichi Homa. And we would be happy to welcome representatives from the school district to both of those events. So we can share more information about that when we have more details. I understand from Jeff Chiba, there's already been a lot of excitement and communication between himself and schools in Richmond. I think he's come to do various presentations and workshops with different schools, and is very excited to work specifically with the schools in Steveston and Homa Elementary to do more of that. I think he has good connections with the librarians in some of the Richmond schools. So we're looking at ways to maybe work with schools as part of that event, and maybe in person or him visiting schools. Or school classes coming to an event. So that's all still in discussion, more to come. But so lots of communication, lots of education around Tomokichi happening in that way. When we brought the designs forward in December, there were some community members that still expressed that they felt there was a need for more education about Tomokichi Homa at Homa Elementary for the families and students that are part of that community. And so that's partly why I'm coming to this meeting today, is just to have that discussion. And I think at this time, I think our request would be, if it's okay with the school trustees, that we would reach out to the school directly to have a conversation about what they feel might be appropriate in terms of additional steps to sort of recognize Tomokichi Homa in the school, on the property, what might work best for the community there. And so I just would like to get some input from this table on if that's action that might be supported.
Trustee Sargent?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think any interaction really should go through our district staff. So we have some staff here. I'm not sure who has HOMA, but our superintendent is here as well. So we're excited to celebrate the contribution of Tomokichi HOMA, not only at HOMA but other schools, because I think the story is really, really important, and more so in this day. So I am sure that our staff can help with that reach out, and they will keep us updated as well. But I would just connect with them, and I see our superintendent, Mr. Yusi, has his hand up, so I'm sure he's going to answer this question. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Trustee Sargent, and through the chair. Certainly, we are very pleased to be part of this. Anything that we can do as a district to be in partnership, it's wonderful. So again, just kindly follow up, either email to appropriate staff or to my office. We'll be happy to support this. Thank you.
Excellent. Please let me know who the right person is to speak with, and the city's happy to support this however we can as well. So I look forward to further discussions, and we can report back on if there's some concrete actions that come out of this work.
If I may, through the chair, I will follow up with you right after this meeting in terms of contact. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, that's great. So to clarify, the superintendent is going to be in contact with our staff to further opportunities to recognize Tomokichi HOMA in the schools, particularly at HOMA. It was very expressed from those community members how much they wanted more recognition at that school. So hopefully we can assist with the school district taking that on and give us some contact to even work with the school directly. And then, as Trustee Sargent said, bringing the story to all schools as well. Any other comments on that? Okay, well, I look forward to hearing back on the progress on that. Thanks, Rebecca. And I can move receipt.
Second.
All those in favor? Thanks. That is carried. Okay, great. Moving on to item 4, Kaiwo Maru and Richmond Celebrate Soccer Update. Marie Fenwick.
Hello, I'm Marie Fenwick, Director of Arts, Culture and Heritage. I think some of you were here last time I presented on the HOMA plaque because I think Rebecca was away or something like that. So I'm really pleased to be here this morning to just provide you a little bit of an information update in terms to 2 significant events the city's planning next year, and just to share a little bit of information about how the schools and school families can participate. So the first one is the Ships to Shore Kaiwo Maru visit, which is scheduled for May 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in 2026. Some of you might remember the ship visited Richmond previously in 2017 as part of the city's Canada 150 programs of events. So this is the Japanese tall ship that will be visiting Garry Point Park. We're planning a 2-day festival that will include Japanese cultural programming, a market, activities for kids and families. And then we also will have a day dedicated for education programs on Monday, May 4th. So we're still working out the details of that program. There will be some availability for students to board the ship. We will have a number of spots for that. Those will be a pre-registered program. We will also be providing information to the schools, recognizing that there won't be capacity for all the schools who want to board the ship to be able to do so. So we will have a school program that isn't dependent on boarding the ship. And then classes would certainly be welcome to come to the park and view the ship from the land. Another opportunity, once we schedule the arrival time, specifically in 2017, we did have some classes from local schools who came down to Garry Point Park to welcome the ship when it arrived. And that was a really a nice opportunity for the students. So that's Kaiwo Maru. I guess one question I do have for the group is where would be the best place to send the information about the school programs for registration once it's available. And I'm happy to answer any questions about that before I move on to the Richmond Celebrate Soccer program.
Trustee Sargent?
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to say thank you very much for thinking of the young people and our students to come and participate. I know, as you say, there's limited access, but I was on another committee and got to hear a bit more detail, and it's really exciting. And I'm just wondering how best to support the story. And I understand there are quite a number of crew that come as well. And there's a lot of young people as crew. And I'm just wondering if that connection could be made as well to hear their stories. I'm not sure if language is an issue or anything, but I'm sure there's translators, etc. But keying into our secondary students too on just hearing their stories, and it's another opportunity, I think, to share and make the world kind of smaller. But I really appreciate anything you can think of, and if we can help you with through our staff about engaging with the young people who won't forget the ship when it comes, but maybe in a much deeper way. And maybe through our superintendent, we can look for ways to learn more about the ship at our schools and really tell stories, write books, just really engaging, because I think it comes quickly. Few get to go on it, and then you try. I know families try to get there, but somehow making it a much deeper story, which I know you have some cool education things, but working with our staff to do that, especially with our older students, I think would be really cool. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for that input. I think one of the things we're looking at now is exploring, is there an opportunity for people to track the ship's journey from Japan and perhaps be in touch with one of the cadets that's on board the ship. So we'll have to sort of check technical capacity and language capacity to do that. But I thought that would be kind of an interesting thing to be able to follow. Anything else on the Kaiwa Maru? Okay, I'll move on to our second big program for 2026, which is Richmond Celebrate Soccer. So it's hard to miss regionally that Vancouver is going to be hosting some of the FIFA World Cup games. The program will be running from June 11th to July 19th. And we'll have a series of programs and events throughout the period here in Richmond in partnership with our community associations and societies. On June 12th, there'll be a kickoff event at the Oval that I know will involve schools, and the Oval will be working directly with you on that. Then throughout the period of June and July, there'll be 9 community events with watch parties, and with everything culminating in a signature event on July 19th, which is the final match day of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. So in addition to attending some of these programs and events, I do want to highlight that we have our annual Community Celebration Grant Program, which I think some of you may be familiar with already. PACs and student councils are eligible. We do get lots of applications from them. This year, the program's been expanded to include a Richmond Celebrate Soccer component. So there's an opportunity for the regular community celebration grants as well as coordinating activities with a soccer theme. One thing just to note for any of your school communities that might apply is the events do have to be a public event. So it can be organized by a PAC or a school council, but there does have to be an opportunity for members of maybe the local neighborhood or the community to celebrate and participate. So it can't be just exclusively a school event. The grant applications are due by February 8th. It's a fairly simple, we've tried to make it a very low barrier grant application process. So that's going on. And we will be launching sort of a second phase of that, which is the neighborhood block parties shortly. And that is for 2 individuals living in the same community to host a smaller scale event on their street. And that grant program gives out $500 per event. Any questions on that?
When did you say the application period closes for that?
For the Community Celebration Grant, it's Sunday, February 8th.
Thanks. Any questions or comments? Okay, thank you. I'll move receipt. Second, can I get a seconder? Thanks, Alexa. All in favor? Okay. Thank you, Marie. Okay, moving on to item 5. Building our future together, social development strategy. Dorothy Jo.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for having me. My name is Dorothy Ho, and I am the Program Manager, Social Planning with the city. Today, I'm pleased to present the new social development strategy, which was recently endorsed by Council on December 17th, 2025. And I'm just going to share my screen here. The new strategy builds on the achievements of the previous social development strategy and reaffirms the city's commitment to building a more inclusive and thriving community. The goal of the strategy is to enhance the social well-being of all community members so that we can all participate in the social, economic, and cultural life of the city. The strategy has 5 strategic directions and 73 priority actions, and they were informed by feedback from more than 1,200 responses received during the community engagement process. The 5 strategic directions reflect the key priorities identified by Richmond community members, priorities they believe will help build a more inclusive and thriving city. These are improve access to basic needs, enhance inclusion and belonging, foster a safe, resilient, and accessible community, strengthen community voice and engagement, and empower community capacity for collective action. Under each strategic direction are priority actions that focus on key areas. So, for example, under improve access to basic needs, there are actions that focus on reducing food insecurity, preventing and reducing homelessness, increasing housing supply, and increasing health and well-being. Under enhance inclusion and belonging, there are actions that focus on enhancing a sense of belonging among diverse communities and planning for all ages and stages. Under foster a safe, resilient, and accessible community, there are actions that focus on increasing the accessibility of public spaces, enhancing transport choices for people of all ages and abilities, developing connected neighborhoods, and building safer, stronger communities. And under strategic direction number 4, strengthen community voice and engagement, we have priority actions that include increasing civic participation among diverse sectors, fostering engagement in community life, and promoting economic inclusion. And finally, under strategic direction number 5, empower community capacity for collective action. There are actions that focus on building and strengthening community capacity, building relationships with local First Nations and urban Indigenous communities, and increasing the city's capacity to respond to evolving needs. I would like to highlight just several actions that relate to children, youth, and families that present opportunities for collaboration with the school district. These actions include developing programs and services that are responsive to the needs and interests of youth and young families, expanding universal quality and affordable childcare, including flexible and non-traditional hours, promoting a child and youth-friendly community by advancing policies, planning, and services that support active transportation, play, participation, safety, and social connection, involving people of each age group in designing the spaces meant for them, including taking on leadership roles on specific projects, and supporting community programs that offer pre-employment help, job training, and mentorship for equity-deserving groups at all life stages. Implementation of ongoing and short-term actions have begun following the strategy's adoption, and this includes reviewing the city grant program to align with city priorities, developing a social equity approach to city planning policies and practices, designing evaluation tools to measure and track progress and outcomes, creating a plain language companion guide to the strategy, and finally, working with the Richmond Social Development Advisory Committee, of which the school district is a member, to monitor and support the implementation of the actions contained in the strategy. This concludes my short presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Trustee Sargent?
Yeah, thank you. I have a couple of questions and a comment. Fabulous document, lots of lots of information, and a really important tool I think the community can use. I guess my question first is around, as governors and an elected body, the Board of Education, I don't think it's referenced at all it's referenced that the minister government provides us funding, but I think there should be a recognition around the governors of the public education system in Richmond. And so maybe just noting that. And then a question around, I don't think, unless I miss it, the board has saw a draft. And so I think it's really helpful, and maybe it's something that we need to put on our radar, that the board should maybe look at the draft before it's approved to just give any feedback. And then my question is around our staff involvement. What involvement, and maybe it's our staff answering, I'm not sure. What involvement was our staff in this document? Because as everybody knows, if you're part of it, then you own it, then we can develop strategies from that. We have a new strat plan, which I would like to add to the next agenda, just a sidebar there. But we can make sure our strategic plan, focuses on some of the things that the city's trying to do too. So the question, I guess, first is around our staff's involvement in the project. And then I just have one other question.
Through the chair to Trustee Sargent, the Richmond School District has a representative on the Social Development Strategy Advisory Committee. So this advisory committee from the start, had helped provide input and feedback on the development of the strategy. And now that the strategy has been adopted, recently Council has created a new advisory committee called the Richmond Social Development Advisory Committee, where the school district is also a member. And I believe Rab Johal, who's here in this meeting, is the representative for the school district. Okay,
thank you. I think maybe we can make it a bit more deeper involvement. And maybe we can ask staff at another meeting, what was their involvement, and can they see a way where we make sure that we're part of it and that we're actually affecting, change and goals that you are trying to fulfill. And then I just had, because this strat plan is so well written and has so much good information, where will this, I think of the average citizen in Richmond, where would they see this? And I know that's on the website, but I think everybody has to see it, read it, and then see how they can be part of, which is part of your goals as well. And I'm just wondering, where would this go? And we can also ask, perhaps at a board meeting, we could have someone come and present to the board. And then again, it's another viewing. We are televised. So it's just an important document. I think everybody has to see themselves in helping reach those goals. Thank you.
Superintendent Usi has a comment, a follow-up on that.
Well, thank you very much, Madam Chair. And just through the chair to Trustee Sargent. So first of all, congratulations on this wonderful strat plan. And I know that as Trustee Sargent mentioned, there are opportunities to see those connections with our new strategic plan, because of course we all serve the same community of learners and families. So what I'm hearing is obviously an opportunity, and for staff to at the appropriate time, Trustee Sargent, those opportunities to provide information as this work on the implementation this particular action. So I know that staff have been actively involved in conversations and at different tables with city, and we very much appreciate those partnerships. But what I'm hearing is the opportunity to ensure that at different points, in those conversations, that certainly our commitment, of course, is to keep our board informed in that process as well. So thank you very much on this wonderful step forward.
Go ahead, Trustee Wong.
My question is that this one is print out in the flat or distribute to the public? How can we get this information from the public?
Through the chair to Trustee Wong, this document is available on our website, but it's also available to the public. Anyone could request a copy of this strategy from us, from the team. And also we are in the process of distributing copies of this to senior levels of government, and we will be providing a copy to the board after this meeting as well.
Okay, thank you.
Trustee Larson?
There we go. Thank you very much. Dorothy Jo, very thoughtful. I like how I always stick with the word pillars, but your areas of depth in how looking at the community, you've really covered, I think, done a really good job in covering the diverse community that Richmond is. So I can just imagine the work that's got into this. As Trustee Sargent said, we've just finished with our strategic plan, and it is a lot of work, and to bring it all together and do our best to make sure that we can see ourselves in it. So thank you for what I'm excited to see it in full. So
thank you.
Thank you. Oops.
Councillor Liu?
Thank you. And to follow on some of what's been said, and certainly what Dorothy has said, there was an opportunity to go through public engagement and different engagements. And certainly when it first came to council, it actually got thrown back for more engagement. We know that the school board was involved with it, whether or not it got all the way to the trustee table. If I bring you over to page 89 of the report, I'd like to highlight to you how many plans and strategies we have. And so regularly we do have something on Let's Talk Richmond. So right now we've got traffic strategy, we've got the tourism master plan, we always have something coming up. And I think as much as we can keep directing it back to the school board to invite you to comment on it, I think it's maybe up to the school board staff to analyze, keep abreast of the Let's Talk Richmond, see what makes sense for the school board to weigh in on and how heavily you want to weigh in on it. Because I know we invite you certainly to weigh in on it, share with us, talk to us. But, if I just glance over some of these pages, childcare action plan, collaborative action plan to prevent poverty in Richmond, affordable housing strategy, cultural harmony, dementia-friendly, homelessness strategy, senior strategy, youth strategy. And certainly we invited you to the youth strategy that came out several years ago. Accessibility, childcare strategy, art strategy, parks and open space, community wellness, sports strategy. And the sports strategy, a new one should be coming up because that one's aged out. Signature and community events plan, volunteer management strategy, emissions plan, RCMP detachment strategic plan, circular city, public library, like all these things do dovetail with the work that the school board is doing. And we don't want to be creating this in a silo. That being said, these are our strategies. We'd love for you guys to get involved as much as you're interested in. And I think on almost all of these, we have representation from the school board. So it's just a matter of ensuring that maybe the trustees are aware of what they're doing. Maybe they want to endorse it somehow at that stage, because I think it's, we do have input from the school board, or from the school board staff anyway.
Donna?
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for that. And maybe it is, maybe this committee could have, what's on the Let's Talk coming up, kind of an agenda item.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can also flag it. make note of it, because I don't think you do them all at once. And maybe we could have that as an agenda item, and staff could say, well, right now what's out is blah. And I think that would be important for us to just flag it. I know we have staff on some of this working groups, and I think it's important for sure. And if I could just add our strat plan to the next agenda, we would like to share that with you as well. Thank you.
Okay, so just to summarize what I heard there, how would we then add what's coming up with our strategies on a Let's Talk on an agenda? We would just do who would choose what they think is relevant and get it on the agenda for next meeting and ongoing.
Yeah, I was assuming that your Let's Talk is when you do the reach out to the community, and it's pretty intense. So maybe if the item is on the agenda, Let's Talk, maybe city staff could say, actually, what's out right now is one on art. And maybe we could flag that for our staff as well, and for the board too. And if we want to give feedback, we could do that.
Okay,
I
so
don't
our
know
staff,
if that's possible. I don't know if you have a lot out right now, but
No, yeah.
I think that works.
Yeah, we only have a couple things on it. If you pop on to Let's Talk Richmond, as I said, we've got the draft Richmond Tourism Master Plan, Steveston Parking Study. There's also this Blue Couch project, which is turning denim into circular innovation, and Aberdeen rental residences. So those are what's on. And then, you know, it does talk about what the ongoing projects are and everything, but we can certainly mention what the current projects are at the time that the meeting comes up. I think that's an easy one we can just add that as an ongoing agenda item, and it's easy enough for somebody to pluck that off the website pretty quickly.
I agree. Yeah, and then we would add the school board strategic plan onto the next agenda as well. Great. So anything else on this item? Okay, thank you, Dorothy. Move receipt. Second, Alexa, all in favor? Thank you. Okay, so 5.1, Councillor Liu, Holocaust Remembrance.
Yeah, so yesterday was International Holocaust Remembrance Day. Trustee Tablotny was there. It was held at the Bayit. Rabbi Varney was the host of it, and he spoke to me a while ago about this, because at his event last night, he had 4 Holocaust survivors, and he said, you know, Holocaust survivors are very rare nowadays because it's been so long since the Second World War and the liberation of Auschwitz-Birkenau and the other concentration camps. And so he said, you know, this is a huge opportunity because we're able to get these people in Richmond to maybe share this with the school board, bring some students in, have a deeper understanding, hear their stories of what's happening. And so he was wondering if, you know, how can he either get into the schools, or can we do some sort of joint event? So right now, if you've been to the Bayit, you know it's a very small event. Certainly we could partner with the city, we could host it at a much larger venue and have the opportunity to maybe bring in some students, how you sort out who those students are or how that happens. Or they could be at some of the high schools and go around to some of the, like, there's different opportunities, but certainly this is an opportunity. Holocaust survivors are becoming fewer because
they were children.
Because of the time frame from the Second World War. So he'd really like to, you know, share the stories, you know, help people really understand the importance of being aware of what has happened with the history, and making sure that we don't repeat it again.
Yeah, if I can just add to that too, thank you, Councillor Liu. It's, you know, last night having the 4 Holocaust survivors in the room, it just, you know, shone at what an incredible educational opportunity that would be. And but everybody in the room was already educated. So, and how anti-Semitism is so on the rise in Canada, and especially with school-aged children. So it just would be really important. So I agree, and thanks for putting that on. Trustee Sargent?
yeah, thanks very much. I wasn't aware of the event, but I think what you are bringing up is really important. And I'm just wondering if our superintendent could just talk a bit about what would be the process. And then he would, I'm sure, direct it. But I think it's really important for our young people to hear, as you say, right from someone who survived that. And, you know, so many worries about it happening again, and watching some things that are happening today. And how do students learn that we could never do this again, and that there were signs in the beginning? And so I think the legacy for not doing it ever again is with our young people. So I really appreciate it, Councillor Liu and Councillor Galanders. So I'll pass it over to our superintendent to see his comments. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Trustee Larson. Through the chair, first of all,
Sergeant,
absolutely. I think any opportunity we have to educate our youths, students, you know, in terms of historical perspective, certainly a key commitment to the district is to create a safe, inclusive, welcoming environment. And we're certainly aware of levels of anti-Semitism and other forms of discrimination, certainly in communities. So we're certainly we'll do whatever we can, certainly, to assist in terms of identifying those opportunities. My only request would be that, as you can appreciate, we often receive requests from different organizations, different things on any number of things, and we'd like to be able to coordinate that at the district level instead of having sort of piecemeal engagement with different schools. So one of the conversations I'll be having with staff is how we gather information, this sort of information from the city, because I know people sit at different tables. And so my takeaway from today's conversation is that we need to find a way to streamline our information flows from the city to the district, so that if there are opportunities to identify schools or students or partnerships, that it's coordinated. And I know that we do that as things come on board, but and I also know that we have staff who sit at different tables, working tables with the city. So specific to this request, I would say that if for now, that information certainly could come to directly to my office, and we'll work with staff, and you know, to ensure that we're able to work directly with the city on such requests. So I just again, it's just a question of trying to streamline those opportunities and to make sure that we are working together in a way that isn't fragmented, so to speak. So I hope that's helpful.
Yeah, I think that there's an opportunity for the rabbi and the Bayat to be in contact directly with youth and superintendent to ensure that there could be some education opportunities come next January.
If I may,
particular one.
Yes, if I may, again through the chair, certainly I'm happy to facilitate that request from the rabbi, and in a way that allows us to be at the table. One of the things that I'll just put on the table is that we try to do this as well with the different, because as a school district, we have to make sure that we are also balanced in terms of the different representation we have with different communities. It will not be a surprise to you that we receive similar requests from members of the other members of the Muslim community and other communities as well. And we just want to make sure again that as we go forward and have these conversations and partnerships, which is absolutely welcome. And because I think that opportunity for learning, both for our students and staff and our community, it's really important. And especially on this matter, the last board meeting, I know that the board, as part of its recognition on Holocaust, that was read in the public board meeting. So yes, by all means, please send that my way, and we'll make sure that staff will find the opportunities for that engagement, or for that engagement with this request.
Councillor Liu?
Yeah, thank you. And my understanding is the provincial government has added Holocaust education into the provincial curriculum. So I think, and honestly, I think the Holocaust is a little bit different than some of the other groups' requests. personally, but it's a different stream, and I think this makes sense. We are not actually the ones hosting the event. Certainly the mayor comes and brings a proclamation, but I think this would be more your event versus any, I don't know what, or if any of our staff would be the ones stick handling this to help with this, but you know, if necessary, we probably could get somebody, but I think this would be you that we would just support in any way we can.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that you did mention possibly we could use a city venue, but the school board would organize it. And since it's in the curriculum, like you say, and it's a national day of remembrance, though, it's pretty solid that it's something that needs to be dealt with. Trustee Larson?
Thank you. Just to reiterate what Superintendent Yusi said, I think it's so important, that communication piece, that when anyone, whether it's a counselor or someone from the city or an MLA or an MP, are approached by someone to say this would be good to do, and it has to do with the school board, that should automatically be sent. That person should be directed to our superintendent, because we've had this before, and it can get difficult just because of all the. It's like with you, if somebody comes to us with a city issue, we direct right away to counselors or over to the city. It's really helpful in that way, because then they can start to plan and so on. It's just it's sort of it's really efficient that way. So I just wanted to add that, because I think that's very, very important. And we've been working on that for a while with different groups, because there's so many of us that we do work together, but it's just easier to, not easier, it's more efficient to do it like that. So I just wanted to add that. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Larson. Any final comments on that? Are you good with that, Councillor Liu, for now? Okay. All right. Moved. Second, Alexa, all in favor? I don't even know if that was a motion, was it? Or was it more of a discussion? Okay, sorry. Okay, so 6 future agenda items. Is there anything on that? We've already discussed the school board strategic plan being on the next one, and relevant let's talk opportunities being shared as a standing item. Is that what goes on here, or anything else? Okay, so moved. Do we do a motion on that? Second, all in favor? Okay. Okay, any business arising in new business? Next, no. Okay, next committee date, April 29th, 2026 is tentative, 9:30 a.m. So move adjournment before we go into close, is that right? Okay, Trustee Sargent, all in favor? Okay. So we are adjourned for the open meeting. And